Hold up. This isn't some cheesy kid show. This is Kids in the Tank, a young perspective on business from high school students.
Welcome to Kids in the Tank. I'm Talon, and with me in the tank are Alexia, Zach, and Jacqueline. Today we are honored to have Tyson Franklin in the studio with us. Tyson is an author, speaker, host of It's No Secret with Dr. T podcast, and creator of 365-hour mental and physical challenge. Tyson, you are officially in the hot seat.
Hi, Tyson.
Okay, it's always nice to be in the hot seat. How you doing?
Great.
Yeah.
So you can hear me perfectly, I hope.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's cool. Okay, I'm attentive to your questions.
Okay, so my question was, we know that you've already written 2 books, and so we were wondering if you're writing another, and if so, what would it be about?
Okay, good question. There's 2 books that I sort of partially start. I'm co-writing a book with a friend of mine who is a bit of a computer nerd, and she builds websites. So we're writing a book together about how to market your website. That's one I'm in the middle as a co-writing, which I haven't done before. But my 2 other book ideas, one is around the 6 pillars of marketing. So in my first 2 books, I mentioned the 6 pillars of marketing, and they're like professional referrers, non-professional, internal, external, verbal marketing, and online marketing. And I touch on them in the book as part of both of those books, but I think it's an area that since writing the first book 4 years ago, the other one, say, a year ago, it's an area that I need to expand on, because there's so much to marketing and it's not just these are the 6 pillars of marketing, it's how you use the 6 pillars of marketing to get the most out of them. So that's probably the next book I'm actually going to write.
Nice. Well, hi, Tyson. I'm very interested in entrepreneurship, and I recently listened to your podcast about retention, and I was wondering if you would say that keeping your current customers happy is your top piece of advice for small business success, and if so, could you explain why?
Oh, yeah, retention is everything. Everyone's seen that diagram the last few years, and you'll see a bucket there and there's water coming into it, and that sort of equates to money coming into your business. And you'll see all these holes and all the money again. And that's because people don't retain the customers, clients, or patients that they already have. It's so much easier to please and have existing customer come back to your business than it is to go and find a new one all the time. So if you can really look after your customer base or client base or patient base, whatever you want to call it, if you can really look after them and nurture them and I have what I call contact points, where I think you've got to maintain contact with them as often as you can without being annoying through their whole journey with you. And the more you do that, so I always equate it to, someone says, when should you tell your wife that you love her? And it's before somebody else does. And I think that applies to your customers as well, that they need to know that you love them. And not in a creepy way, just in a good way. And and when they know that you actually care about them, they're not just a number in your database. You get these canned emails that are just, nothing annoys me more than when somebody says, "Dear Tyson, we really care about you." And then I have a look at the email address, and straight away I know it's from Infusionsoft. No, you don't care about me. This is just a blatant burst email that you're sending to everybody. And I think there's times for doing that. That's fine. But don't say, "Dear Tyson, we care about you." I'll go say, "Hey, Tyson, how you doing? This is an email that we're sending out to 10,000 people in a database. How are you doing today?" Mm-hmm. Just being honest. I think if you're honest with people, then they'll be honest back with you. But that's the importance of retention. You don't have to spend as much money to keep them coming back, then we go and find new ones. That was a long-winded answer, wasn't it?
Thank you.
No, thanks. What are some of the ways, like more specifically, how do you retain those customers? I know you talked about sending them more personalized emails, but are there any other ways, like face-to-face conversations, that you try to meet up with your customers beforehand?
I think it depends on the type of customer that you have. So not all customers are created equal. I like to break my customers into what I call A, B, C, and D type customers. And your A are just your awesome customers. You know, they never complain about the price. They always turn up when you want them to. Yeah, so if you're in sales and you're selling cars, they're the person that comes back. They don't buy a car and come back in 10 years. They buy a car and they'll be back in 2 years. They want the latest and greatest model before the other one's even out of its warranty. Yeah, they're just your awesome customers. Then you've got your B ones, which are good customers. There's nothing wrong with them. They're just not as awesome as the other ones. And then you've got your C's and D's. Your D's are your dead customers. They're the ones that you should get rid of and send to your opposition. and your C customers are the ones that, you know, they're just a pain in the bum. You know, they price.
Yeah.
Wouldn't matter, regardless of the industry you're in. They'd be the sort of person that would turn up at the accountant's office 2 days before the end of the financial year with a huge box full of receipts put on the desk and complain that can't they get it done in the next 48 hours. And even if the guy busted his bum to do it, they would say, "Oh, geez, I can't believe you've charged me what you did." Yeah, so once you identify what type of clients you've got or which type of customers, then I just think you need to just tailor your communications to those people. So if you've got customers that are spending $1,000 a year with you, you need to get to know who they are. Where do they hang out? What do they do? What do they like? If someone's spending a couple of $1,000 with you and you know they like chocolate, then send them some chocolates on the birthday. It's not hard, but like if a good customer of yours, depending on the industry, is only spending $100 a year, then you're not going to go and buy a $30 box of chocolates. It wouldn't make any sense. But sending them a survey saying, "Hey, we'd love your opinion on this," and enclosed in the survey is this is something I used to do. So with our patients, we would identify our best patients, our A's and B's. Once a year, we'd send out a survey to them, and we would say, and we'd enclose a self-addressed envelope so they could post it back to us. So the idea is to make it as simple as possible for them to respond. There would be a set of 5 questions, nice and simple. They could tick a few options or just write a couple of comments. And we'd enclose a $2 scratchy in there. You know what scratchies are? Yeah, where you can scratch it and you win money.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'd enclose one of them with it, and we'd say, "Hey, just for your time, here's a $2 scratchy. By the way, if you do happen to win a lot of money, feel free to come back and spend it at our business." And again, if you win an excessive amount of money, we are open to donations. So we make a bit of a joke about it.
Yeah.
Our response rate from those surveys used to be over 80%.
All right. Well,
I don't know too many people that contact patients about doing a survey and get more than 80%. Sometimes I reckon it'd be at least 90%. But these days, everyone goes, "Oh, we'll just send it out via email," and they wonder why they get a 10% return, and nobody cares about them.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, I've got another one for you. So, what are the biggest differences between Australian entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs here in the U.S.? And how can each become better?
Okay, that's a good question. I think an entrepreneur is an entrepreneur. I think we're all the same. I think Americans think bigger in general. I don't know if it's because, especially Texans,
everything's bigger.
You can just go ask a Texan, and they'll tell you everything's better in Texas.
That's true.
I think all entrepreneurs are the same. However, I think America as a country more than Australia. So in Australia, they have this problem they call tall poppy syndrome, and it's like if someone starts doing really good and putting it, standing from everybody else, people start looking for fault, and they try and tear them down. Whereas I don't see that in America as much. If someone's actually starting to do really well, everyone gets behind them and goes, wow, look at what they're doing. They're fantastic. That's probably the biggest difference. So I think our attitudes are pretty much the same. And I think technology, social media, the ease of flying from one country to another. Yeah, you jump on a plane here, and say I was in Brisbane, and 12 and a half later I'm in Los Angeles. That's the world has become so small. So I think it's very easy for us to all communicate and like what I'm doing with you now. I'm in Kansas on the other side of the world. We're in Wisconsin, and we are chatting on a podcast. I think that's fantastic. Did that answer the question?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Hi, Tyson. My question is, when you are developing a mentor program for a business, do you look at how the business is currently run, or do you look at like the goals and what they want to achieve before, and then do you look at how it's run after that, or how do you approach it?
Yes. So I've got the new mentoring class I'm taking on this afternoon. So one of the first things that I will talk to them first is what do they want to achieve? What is it that they want? What do they want out of the business? So if they say, I want my business to turn over $1 million a year. Okay, so you want $1 million a year. Let's at least get a goal on what you're aiming towards. But then the next thing I want to know, what type of patient do they want to deal with? Who is their ideal patient? And I think a lot of businesses figure to sit down and work out who their client patient or customer avatar is. Mm-hmm. So who says, so if they said to me, I want to make $1 million a year in my podiatry, and my ideal client is retired ladies, a retired woman over 70 years of age that doesn't have health insurance. I'll be going, I think you've set your goal too high because you're not going to do it aiming at that target market. So their ideal client has also got to match with the realistic goal that they're actually trying to achieve. So they're the first two things that be with them. Then I'll look and go, okay, what systems do you currently have in place that you think are working really, really well? And then what areas of your business do you think you really drop the ball on? So we can identify what's good, what's not good. Even some of the ones that are good, we go, okay, can you tweak them, make them better? And then I sit and I have a look at their marketing strategy. So their marketing strategy is technically one of their systems, but the difference between the strategy, the marketing strategy and the marketing tactics, and a lot of businesses, they get so focused on tactics. Oh, yeah, we can do Facebook Live video. Okay, is that what is your strategy? What do you need to achieve? In Facebook Live videos, you really see them. If the target market was retired women who don't have health insurance over 70, how many of them are on Facebook Live? So it's bringing all those pieces together. But the main thing is what do they want to get out of the business? Who is their ideal client? Does it match? Is that a realistic goal? And if it does, then we look at the systems and then we look at the strategies on what they need to do, and then we put the tactics in place. That make sense?
Yes, thank you.
So what did it feel like?
And I love doing this.
So what did it feel like to win the Queensland Telstra Business Award?
Oh, that was really, really good. That was a while ago. What's really funny, we entered it. I said to my wife, I'm going to enter we got nominated. I said, okay, I've been nominated. I'm going to take the nomination. I'm going to enter this. So I wrote. You had to write out. It was a 20-page. You had to answer all these questions, and I think it was maximum 20-page entry. So I wrote it and I gave it to my wife and said, "Here, what do you think about this?" She read it. She went, "That's the biggest load of crap I've ever read." I went, seriously. She went, "Oh my God." She said, "That is awful." She goes, "But what you've written there is what they want to hear." She goes, where's the Tysonisms? Where's you? Where's what's made our business so good? Go away, just rewrite the whole thing and forget that you're trying to impress them. Just be yourself. I went, okay, so I went back, rewrote the whole thing. I put in funny photos of us dressed as Mexicans. At a Mexican party, we had a corporate rowing team. I had a photo of us just getting our butts kicked and how bad we were at rowing. And And back then, the awesome foursome was still pretty big. And I said, they've got nothing to worry about. And I cracked jokes all the way through this thing. And, so but then all of a sudden I put the submission in, got a phone call to say that we were in the state finals. And I'm like, wow, that's really cool. I said, what's that mean? Because I didn't know what it even meant. And they went, it means that a couple of hundred entries that have come in, you're in the top 6. And I went, that's pretty awesome. So then we got flown down to Brisbane in accommodation, and we were there, and we were up against these companies that were, some of the international companies, and I'm going, there's no way we can win this. Okay, they're just too big.
Yeah.
And then they had I remember the MC being up there, and I jokingly said at our table, hey, tonight, so you're going to go up, or am I going to go up and win this? And we just laughed. We thought, there's no way we're going to win. And then I said, man, the winner is Pro Arch Podiatry at the time. It was one of the most nights because it was so unexpected. I didn't have a speech prepared because as a boy, I said, did you write a speech? Well, no, I wasn't expecting it. Why write a speech? So I got up there and I went for 90 seconds. It was pretty much like a 90-second stand-up comedy routine, and it was fantastic. But winning that award, and we said leading up, it didn't matter if we won. I learned so much about myself and the business just by entering, and I think that's something a lot of businesses should do. Forget about it. It's not about winning the awards. It's going through the process and what you learn about yourself as you go through it. And if you do happen to win it, then, it opens a few more doors. Winning that award gave me belief in what I was doing was right. And it was that award that prompted me to then move into franchising for a small period of time.
Well, thank you for answering our questions. We're now going to be moving into our next segment, Flip It, where you will be asking us the questions.
That's good because I've got some tough ones.
Hit us.
Okay, so I think you'll like this. So Donald Trump is your president. Yeah. Like him or hate him, he polarises people, which I think is a good. I think that nobody sits on the fence when it comes to Donald Trump. But the question about you is whether you like this like Donald, because I don't want you to answer that because I don't want to be held against you in 20 years' time. Do you follow politics, and are you in the same party as your parents?
Well, I am actually going to school to major in political science, so yes, I follow politics as much as I can, and no, I am not in the same party as my parents, which I know, I just took AP Gov, a class in our high school, and something like 75 to 90% of all the kids grow up to become the same party as their parents. So I'm different in that aspect, but I follow a lot of that stuff, and it kind of scares me a little bit, all of it.
For me,
No, that's good.
I also I'm big into politics, and I would lean more with my family. I mean, I lean more independent, but I do follow it very closely and side with more of my family.
I don't really follow politics a lot, but from what I do hear from my parents or see on TV and stuff, I am more with what my parents follow as well.
I think in this day and age, we have so much other things on our minds. So when I am at home, what I'm getting in the politics world is usually coming from my parents. I think it'll be interesting going off to college this year and seeing if I do kind of gain some of my own thoughts. But as of right now, I think I would lean with my parents.
Okay, that was a good broad answer. That was a good across the book. Okay, my next one for you is, so you're 17, 18 at the moment, being ready to probably go to college, university. So are you moving away from where you live, or are you staying close to home?
I'm moving. I won't be staying close to my home. I will be going 3 hours away.
It was kind of always a dream of mine to go far away, but that didn't work out, so I'll be about 30 minutes from home.
Yeah, for me,
Okay,
Yeah, one of my big things was like I wanted to kind of get out of my comfort zone a little bit, so I'm going 4.5 hours north. I just kind of always thought that that was like a cool thing to just kind of get away, but we'll see. It'll be cold.
Yeah, for me,
What's 4.5 hours north?
Oh,
really?
not much, but there's a university up there.
Okay.
and then for me, I'm moving away to go right into the workforce. I'm moving about 25 hours away from home, so I'm moving towards the West Coast. So
Okay. Is there one more?
Nope,
No,
that's
that's
Oh,
it.
that's all we got.
That was all. Oh, okay. And yeah, the next question is: are you confused about making a career? You know, like, so I take it everyone that I'm talking to at the moment is 18 and under.
Yep.
I'm 18.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
I'm 18.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, are you confused making a career choice so young? But, you know, like telling people that you're finishing high school, you're 18 years of age, and you need to start now making a career choice. Do you feel it's hard to make a career choice only being 17 or 18 years of age?
Well, it's definitely for me. It's kind of a scary thing, especially like going into college and having to pick a major so quickly, and then realizing that that major is kind of what my path will be for the rest of my life. But I'll say one thing, and this is kind of cheesy, but BizTank really has like helped me, like really kind of look at other career opportunities and broaden my horizons. Because I was really pushing myself to kind of go into the whole political science world, but now like being involved with BizTank, it's like, man, there are really some other really cool opportunities, and I'm really looking at like other international business. Anything marketing and stuff like that. It's just really broadened my horizons, and I think I'm a little less scared because of that.
I really like. Sorry, I really liked some of the advice you gave earlier about how you can kind of use some of the small things that you enjoy and put them in different places. I feel like I've known since a small kid that I wanted to get into the, marketing field. I was always, first to set up a lemonade stand or selling things at my school. And I think I can use those passions and now explore what actual careers are available to me. I think we grew up in a great community, and everyone's very open about the fact that you can change down the road, but you should definitely be thinking about it early, which we have.
Like Zach, I'm also kind of scared that, like, once I pick a major, I feel like I have to stick with it. But I'm also, like, I'm pretty set on what I want to do, but I'm nervous that I'll, like, change my mind a little too late and then be stuck. I don't know.
For me, I've always known since I've been 5 what I wanted to do. I've always done what I've felt passionate about. So for me, I'm not really scared about it. I've always really known what I want to do. So.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I had no idea what I was going to do.
That's not a bad thing.
My mum now, my mum's 52. My mum still asks me, what do you actually do? When you were talking before about the Telstra Business Awards, this is the other part. When we went to those awards as well, is I didn't even invite a single person to share the celebrations with us because I didn't think we'd win. So hindsight is good of. I've got one last question for you, and I know like you're involved in part of the BizTank, and that is such a positive thing that Jeff's put together. But prior to that, what was your thought on having a mentor helping you guide your career? Did you have one already, or had you even thought about having one, or was it something that hadn't even crossed your mind?
For me, I didn't really have a mentor. For me, I think having a mentor would be very impactful because then they can help you further your career and also kind of lead you more in the right path and kind of bypass some of the mistakes that you would make if you didn't have a mentor. So for me, I have thought about having a mentor, and I think it'd be very beneficial for me.
I also didn't have a mentor, but I think it would help a lot in the fact that if I did decide to change what I want to major in, it wouldn't be too difficult for me.
You know, you mentioned to us earlier that you don't like to take second place, and I definitely related with you on that point. And so I feel like I have taken every opportunity up to this point to hear from people that have done things before I have, done things better than I have. I think going forward, the more mentors you can have, the better. Everyone's had their own experiences, and they can really push you towards success.
Yeah, prior to BizTank, I really kind of thought like mentoring was just kind of for, I don't know, like it kind of looked like it was more for the geeks, you know? And like for me, I just kind of always went through life kind of pushing myself to do things, and my parents were really big influencers too in how I motivated myself. But now, like being in BizTank and just getting out into the real world now, it's just I realize the value of networking and all of the connections that you make and how important they are later in life. Because I know even just through like church and everything, I'll meet kids and just have a real connection with them. And I hope that I'll be able to emphasize that relationship later in life and really get to know that person, but maybe even from a business aspect as well. So they'll help me out on that.
They're really, really good answers. Just one last thing. It's with BizTank itself. Do you openly talk about that at school? You're part of the BizTank and you encourage other people to be part of it, or is it secret?
You want to say that one more time? I don't know if we all caught that.
Yeah, I did.
So with BizTank, like I said, I think BizTank is great. Do you, at your school, is everybody aware that you're part of BizTank and they want to join as well? Like as you leave, other people will fill your place. Something you openly talk about with your friends?
Yeah, and I mean, I've tried to get people involved as well. I think a lot of people, the motivated people in school are the ones that want to be here. Yeah. And I've really seen that in the last year or so being here. Mm-hmm. And it's shaped me, and I've tried to get people in the door here. And a lot of the excuses is, I've got to work, or I've got, I don't want to give up my social life for that like 2 hours on Wednesday. But I mean, it really is super beneficial. So I don't really see a very logical excuse for not coming, to be honest. But
and it's still in its growing phases. I really do see it taking off more than it already has. But I like what he said. The people that are here, the ones that already, push themselves in school, push themselves outside of school. It's not surprising to see the people that walk in this tank.
Yeah, I do have to also agree. The people that are really motivated to either be an entrepreneur or really focused on what career path they want to go into are here. And I kind of found out about this late in the game after I graduated high school, but I do know that I've been encouraging all of my friends to come here, and because it's amazing what they have, and being able to be a part of this and meeting new people and making connections, it makes your business connections a lot stronger.
No, I think you've answered that really well. So I don't have any more questions for you. Those are the ones that I have.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us on the phone. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great. Thanks for having me on there.
Thank you.
Okay, I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
All right. Bye.